Hello, my name is Gregory Leoy. I'm going to make this brief because it's a pretty long tale, but basically what it boils down to is I was fired as of Monday, terminated from my employment with a company called XPO Last Mile. They're a logistics firm. They work for Best Buy, the appliance manufacturers, and they also liaison between a company called PC Renovations, which is the installers, the people that put the appliances in. Okay, my job was at the DDC, which is a place for the warehouse where they pick up the appliances, and I would oversee the loadout where the people put the appliances on their trucks and get off to the rest of the day to do the installing. Now, my job was just to oversee things. However, I'd been doing it since June when it was nice and warm. Now, last week, this is our calendar here. Last week, Wednesday the 14th, it was about 25 degrees, but the real field temperature was 11 degrees. Now the techs show up every morning between 6:30 and 8:30 to do loadout. Now at about 6:45 the techs arrived at the door outside. I can see them. It's a big garage door, but they weren't allowed entrance, and I don't have the key. It's Best Buy employees, but Best Buy decided to have a meeting with their employees on the floor within my vision, but when I called to the fellow who lets them in, he said, "I'm busy, they'll have to wait." Now, it's 11 degrees, the real feel outside, and I couldn't see letting them have to wait. So I directed them to come to the truck driver entrance. And then I got a Best Buy employee, because my key doesn't open that entrance, I got a Best Buy employee to use their pass key to let the techs in. And I thought nothing of it because they had a job to do. So I figured, let's get them in, let them start loading the equipment, which is already, the appliances, which have already been lined up at each door for them to put in their truck. Now about maybe 30 minutes into that, management from Best Buy comes. One of this woman, Anza, she's a director of customer care, and she says, "You can't let them in." I said, "Why? They have to do their job. They have to do." "Well, there has to be a Best Buy person present. This is a security issue." Now, there were Best Buy people. They were just at the other end, like about 200 feet away. They turned their head, they could see. But security issue, these guys have been coming there every day for 14 years to do loadout. There's been no theft. And even if it was an issue, there are video cameras hanging from the ceiling. You could see if anybody was stealing anything. But they can't get to what's being... all they have is the equipment that's been loaded out to take for the day. Okay, so I thought nothing of it, but I thought enough of it to send a letter to the director of the warehouse, a guy named Mike Code, saying, "Listen, if you want these guys to do their job on time, please have a person there to supervise, the coordinator who's normally there." He was there, again, he was out of eye shot. And then, now this Monday, Martin Luther King's Day, this executive, he's, I'll just say his title, I won't say his name because he's a rodent, doesn't need his name said here, but he's a representative of XPO Logistics and the regional supervisor for the Northeast and two bosses over me. He made a personal drive up all the way from where he lives in Delaware to the DDC in Perth Amboy, New Jersey, with the express purpose of firing me, terminating me. He gave me the paper to sign, and on that paper it said, "You're being terminated for violating Best Buy's policies," which I really didn't violate because there were people there. But anyway, the point, and let's bring it to this point. Bradley Jacobs, the owner of XPO Logistics, which is a subsidiary, XPO Last Mile is a subsidiary, makes a big point about we take care of our people. You're the customer, and our people are very important to us, and join the team. Well, I was on the team, and I was looking out for the people, the techs, so that it wouldn't freeze, and I got fired. Now, the guy that fired me obviously didn't care about my livelihood, and he's still with XPO, so who do they really care about? That's the question I ask. And that's not disparaging or maligning or impugning them. That's just asking them some questions about the facts of something that happened to me. Now, I have no income to support myself, to pay my child support, and I send income to Rwanda, to a little fellow over in Rwanda. He's an African boy, and he sends me pictures. I'm not saying I support him, but the money I send does help him get clean water and clothes for school. Now, I can't send that money anymore because I've been fired. I was terminated because I cared more about the people than I cared about an unwritten and unposted policy that I was totally unaware of. So, XPO Logistics, XPO Last Mile, you put one guy out of a job for caring too much about people.